So I asked my friends over at Instagram, what's your current challenge as a music producer, or what video would you like me to make if I was to make a tutorial video specifically for you? And I got some replies, but the one that stood out the most was, how do you make catchy melodies and chord progressions? How do you make melodies for Afrobeats? What's the secret sauce for making melodies for Afrobeats? So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make catchy Afrobeat melodies and how to make easy chord progressions and melodies for Afrobeats. Let's jump into FL Studio. So I've laid out a simple drum pattern. I use sounds from the Billboard Afrobeat Hits Volume 1 pack. Feel free to hit the link below if you want to get these exact sounds I used. So here's the drum pattern. So just a simple rhythm with snare. Then we have kick with one or two congas. Then our shakers. I got the shakers from the Billboard Afrobeat Hits Volume 1. Alright, so for Afrobeats, there are like 3 generic kind of styles, especially when you want to play chords. Because to play melodies, sometimes you need a chord progression. Not all the time. Sometimes you could just start all the way from the melodies, and from there you could derive your chord progressions if you actually need one for that particular track. So I'm going to go ahead and drag the MIDI file from the Billboard Afrobeats Volume 1. Now, the first style of chord progression movement I'd like to show you for Afrobeat is the 4-4-1. It's as simple as this. I'll go ahead and arrange this chord progressions to show you what the 4-4 looks like. The 4-4 could be in, so to lengthen all your chords at once, I'll just put the notes here, then Control L. Alternate Q to quantize everything first of all. Control L once again. Alright, so this is like the 4-4. It could be arranged in any way. It could be this fast. Yeah, but just basically on your 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, it could be your 1, 2, it could be your 1, 2, 3, could be like that. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is basically definitely not what we want. So we want something like this. Now with that, we go ahead and make our melodies. So this is the first part of chord progressions. Like I said, I'm starting from the chords before I enter the melodies. So this is the first style of chord progression. Then we'll have what I call the 2, which is basically 4-4, but nudged a bit to the right. So it will be something like this. So when the kick hits, something like that kind of bounce. It is something like this. No. Okay, yeah, so that's another bounce for chord progressions in Afrobeats. So the third one is basically like strumming, but it's just breaking off the different chord progressions. So for example, our 1 chord, instead of playing like this, now we'll play something like this. Now you're already making melodies like this. So we'll do that to the second one. So we'll just nudge it. For my my FL is, my step snap is set to 1/3 step. So yeah, so you could do that for yourself as well. Take this also like this. Take this like this. This is supposed to be in the middle. Go again for this other one. 1, 2, 3. Do that 6. Then this 9th box. Again, my snap is set to 1/3 step. So if you want to use that same settings, it's fine. So now this is what the third type of chord progression sounds like. Like I said, it's like a melody. But here we go. So I'll rearrange this part. Now, these are the top three, in my opinion, the top three kind of chord progressions I'm basically using Afrobeats. Well, now there are different variations in the sense that now, remember the first file I loaded, okay? It looked something and sounded like this. Again, I'm getting these MIDI files from the Billboard Afrobeats Volume 1 pack, link in the description. So this is a variation. Now, this is just basically taking the same 4 chord progressions, but giving it your own style, okay? From here on, the list goes on and on and on. Your style, how you want to drop it. You want to drop it on the 1 or on the 1.5, and so that's how you begin to create variations. And even just by playing chord progressions, you're already giving the beats or the song melody already. So let's go ahead and make a chord progression of our own. After laying that foundation, we'll go ahead and build up melody, and that's where I'll be showing you how I make nice and catchy melodies. So I use a MIDI keyboard, and I was able to play this kind of lazy chord progressions. So I played minor chords and minor 7. I added the 7 here. So if you want to know what the 7s or 11 or 13 means in music, it's basically starting from the first note of that particular scale. If you go back some videos back in my channel, you will see where I talked about relative minor and major scales. So this is an A minor, which is essentially a C major. Okay, just that the starting and ending notes are different. For a C major, you start from C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And for an A minor, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. So your A will be 1. Your B will be 2, C would be 3, then your D will be 4, E 5, your F 6, your G 7, back to your A, which will be 8. So essentially the 7 comes from the 7th note of that particular scale you are playing. So if you had to hear something like a C major 7, it's basically just adding that 7th note of the scale. So it's important you have this basic knowledge on music theory. It will help guide you on the long run. So deviating a bit, for example, the C13 would be starting from C, okay? Then it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's basically adding an A to the chord you'll be playing. See, a C, I have to add this now. Now they'll call it a C13. I could add it here, I could add it here, which I've basically played an A minor 7th chord. Again, in no way am I a music guy. It's time to be corrected. I could be making a mistake right now, but with the basic knowledge I have, that's all I can say for now. So back to the chord we just played. So I'll go ahead and just arrange this how I want it. And I did some strumming here and there, so we'll see about that. So remember I talked about the regular 1, 2, then sometimes we have 1.5. So like now I have this 1, then instead of coming back to like this, I combined the first chord progression I showed you with the second one. Now instead of this, I did this. So yeah, that's why I had to show you the various kind of chord progressions, because there are times you create variations for your own self. You add the first style I showed you, the second style. Sometimes it could be like this. Yeah, just the addition of the whole 3 styles I showed you. There are many more styles, but for Afrobeat, these are the familiar ones. These are the ones I'm more familiar with. I'm deciding to show you those ones. Okay, so yeah. So my ears are telling me there's something else missing at this end. Again, we're already building our melody, whether you like it or not. It all starts from somewhere. You could start from the middle, like I said before. You could start from chord progressions, like I'm showing you right now. For this D, we're looking at something like this. Feel free to give this little gaps just to give it a human feel. We are not robots, we are human beings. We are not always 100% on time. So yeah, feel free to give that human feel. So I'll go ahead and do Alt S. I'm on PC. Then I'll go ahead and strum some of these notes. Again, giving it that human feel. Again and again and again. Something very important I have not mentioned is your velocities. Honestly speaking, they are what make a great melody or chord progression stand out from something like a trashy or less feeling involved chord progressions. I mean, music is about how you feel, so you're communicating an emotion from one end, from the artist end to the consumer end. So I mean, there must be a feel to how it was played, not just like this. Some people, I don't know how and why they do that, but you see them take all the velocity, just leave it at one point. Please, no, don't do that. No, 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 no. That's not how it's done. I failed to mention I'm on FL Keys stock plugin, so it's time for me to add melodies now. It's time to talk about melodies. The easy hack for melodies is just stick with the chords you've played. Play around with it. What can you come up with the chords you've played? So I'm going to go ahead and play around. I don't really have a rule of how I start to make melodies. Please do not look for anything like that. Again and again and again, I'm going to say you are not a robot, you're a human being. Sometimes all these things come from what you feel inside. All right, it comes from what you feel inside. For those professional musicians, they easily hear it up here and they can, as quick as possible, play it out on the keyboard without even thinking twice. But not all of us are that musically inclined. So, I mean, we got to do what we got to do. So, for this chord progression, I'll go ahead and fiddle with the keyboard and come up with a melody right now. So, I'm not going to edit this process from now on until I get melody I'm looking for, just so you have an idea of how I go about making my melodies. Now, this is how I think. I'm basically bringing you into my world to show you how I think. For others, it might be totally different. Now, still in the process of playing a melody, I have this little I won't call it a melody yet. It's just like a lick. So in building a house, you have your foundation, you have your bricks, you have your cement, you have the water you need to make the cement, your roofing, plastering, and all those little bits are what makes the full house. Same thing goes for chords and melodies. Little bits here and there makes a full melody. So still on this, need a new sound. So this is flex. Let's see what we can find in flex. So let's use this flute and come up with another melody. So I'll go ahead and quantize this melody. I'm going to light everything. Then for this flams, I'll deselect them because I don't want them to be on time. I'd love to hear what this flute melody will sound like on guitar, so I'll go ahead and load the guitar plugin. Now I think this sounds amazing with the guitar. I like this guitar sound. I'm going to also go ahead and come up with just one more guitar melody. So if you're wondering how you can make guitar melodies, this is Ample Guitar TC. I can't really off the head call out a stock guitar plugin that sounds nice or a less chunky one like this one. None of the head for now, but I'll do also leave in the comment sections when I see it or when I remember that plugin or come across the sound. So let's take this particular guitar and render it out. So we have that on its own. I could also pass this through a guitar effect. I think we have one called hardcore over here. Okay, then let me look for a simple preset. Be very careful, this plugin, it can really be very crazy, like the distortion, so make sure your volume is not too loud before clicking around. I love how this sounds, so I'll go ahead and add delay and reverb for myself. Now, these are ways to make your melody super interesting by adding filter plugins, volume manipulation plugins, pan manipulation plugins. They can make your sound very, very, very interesting and give you ideas for even more melodies. Another way to make interesting melodies and chord progressions, layering. For example, these chord progressions, I'm going to look for something soft, like a road. I'm trying my best to stick within stock plugins. I know I've used one or two third-party plugins, but yeah. So looking for something nice, like a pad or something. So let's copy this and paste this for the pads. So for this one, I'm going to do this. I'm going to quantize everything. I just make it like what I showed in the first style of chord progression, like the 4/4. So what I'm doing for this particular one. Control B to just duplicate that and put this here. Control L, Alt Q first of all. Alt Q, Control L, and we have that. So cool. For this muffin, another cool trick I'm about to show you for melodies, I've copied this to a new channel rack or step sequencer, then render this out as its own melody. Let's make this interesting. Now, it's not just by playing these things, it's what you do with those things you play that matters also. So it could be a basic melody, you could turn it to something crazy with cool effects and plugins. So for this one, I'm going to reverse it. After reversing that one, let's bring up our cool, nice body, gross beats. Let's mess up that particular melody. So I'll bring up the volume or just normalize it. Then bring down the volume. Let's also place this. Let's play with it. Are going somewhere like this style. I want this to be a bit soft, so let's bring up the fruity filter. Then let's put reverb. Make it more interesting with delay. Nice. You can't tell me this isn't amazing. So we started from this without the pads. With FL keys, people, this is FL keys. Then we added the one pad from Flex. Woo! Then we got our guitar from Ample Guitar TC. Where you at, bro? This was first split with the flutes, don't forget. Then we had this funny melody from Morphine, which we turned into this. What we did, we just reversed it, took it to our mixer, added gross beats for the filter section, or sorry, volume section. We used the basic 6, then the off beats for the down part there. then fruity filter, okay. Then next up, we got reverb, then delay tree with some settings on the feedback side. So, and we had this. Sweet. Altogether, we got this. Now that was super amazing. We just made nice, good Afrobeat melodies on the spot, and I showed you how I did it. I'm glad if you watch to the end. I'm very sure you've picked up a thing or two on how you could make melodies better for your Afrobeat tracks and also make good and amazing chord progressions. So feel free to ask your questions down in the comment section. Give this video a like if you enjoyed this video. Share this video with a friend just to let them know that, yo, I learned something new in this video and I feel you could also learn something too from this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to show your support, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.